This video is sponsored by Warner Brothers.
He told me he liked me, and I said thank you. Is there a logic to love? Is there a logic to it? Or is it a random event of the universe and you can't, logically fathom or control it? Is it random? Is it logical?
But I gotta switch it on when the lights are low. Yeah, go ahead and go. Got a light, let it show.
Greetings internet, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another sit down talking video for you guys. This, my friends, is a very, very exciting video because it is sponsored by Warner Brothers, which I never thought that I'd be able to say that Warner Brothers wanted me to make a video with them. The Sun Is Also a Star is coming to theaters on May 17th from Warner Brothers, and I cannot tell you guys how many times I have seen the trailer, and I got goosebumps the first time I watched it because, first of all, it's set in New York City where I am presently. It's mind-boggling how similar I am to the main character Natasha, who's portrayed by Yara Shahidi, and I can't even discuss, I just can't even, guys, about how similar I am to her character because we're both very methodical, very practical, very logical, a lot of calls there, but I have a lot of priorities in this life that aren't relationship priorities. I haven't dated anyone in a very long time. Like a really long time. Like, yeah, I talk about love and dating and relationships a lot because a lot of you guys, ask me to talk about it, so I do. But truthfully, I'm all talk because I find myself, obsessing over romantic stuff a lot less than I used to, especially being in the city where, I have so many other priorities, I have so many other things going on. So honestly, when Warner Brothers challenged me to talk about love, I was like, am I cut out for this? Like, I don't know. I'm busy, building my empire, so to speak. I'm busy with all the tasks of my day-to-day, all the goals that I have for myself, all of the goals that I'm chasing, and I don't see, having a relationship as a goal in my, vision of my life right now. Like a few years from now, I don't know, but right now that's what I see for myself. And I always tell my parents this, and they're like, Katie, you can't decide that. You can't decide that it's just not gonna happen for right now because it could happen, and you have to be open to that and receptive, and you can't just stay closed off to the idea of love forever. I'm sure a lot of you guys are just like me in the sense that we're fiercely independent, especially in this day and age. There's so many opportunities for us now that we didn't have in previous lifetimes, so it's like, why not just seize the day, carpe diem, 24/7, and in doing so we kind of eliminate a lot of opportunity for things to just kind of figure themselves out, like chance encounters, the universe to throw a random card into the deck, of our day-to-day. But there's some moments, I think, some events in life that aren't just going to patiently wait outside of your door. They're going to barge on in and decide that they're happening no matter what. And it's your job to be okay with spontaneity sometimes. And that's what I'm telling myself. I'm kind of talking to myself here because I tend to fear surprise. I have my ironed out plan, and I don't like things, wrenches being thrown into my plan and just ruining everything, because I was trying to come home early from work today to record this video, and I don't want to tell you, in New York I've decided it's like when you need a cab, they are not around. When you don't need a cab, there's a million. And today after work I was like, I need to get home and film before the light goes away, and there were no freaking cabs, and naturally my blood was boiling because it wasn't a part of my plan to not have a cab when I walked outside my building. So, I'm very much a woman with a plan. This whole movie, The Sun Is Also a Star, is surrounding the idea of, chance encounters, spontaneous moments that could change your life. Here's the question I have for you and for me, is meticulously planning our lives ruining the fun? Life is an unpredictable beast. You're gonna walk outside and you're not gonna see the same people walking to work every day that you see, on another day. Like, you're gonna see all these people. I love this, I love saying it. It's like going into a crowded place and you've never, chances are very, very high, that you've never seen any of these faces before in your life, and you're never going to see any of them again. And these people that you see, I'm thinking like Penn Station, because it's like a huge, very clustered area of people, and I always look around and I'm like, I'm gonna see all these faces now, but I'm never gonna see that random guy in the, you know, red baseball cap ever again, and he's gonna go on to live his life and do all these things and, you know, fall in love and have a family and have a kid and all that stuff, and I'm not gonna see any of it happen. Like, obviously, because I don't know the guy in the red baseball cap, but like, isn't that crazy that we all live these separate lives that are somehow connected at certain points? You know, it's just crazy. I always think about how many photos I'm in, you know, other people's photos that are hanging on their walls. Like, am I, you know, in the background? It's just, it's crazy. Life is a crazy beast that does not, you physically cannot plan every minute of your day-to-day. It's just not possible. Sometimes I think that, you know, over-planning and overthinking, you know, my life, it's almost kind of a front that I put on because I'm afraid of romance. So I decide in my mind that I'm too busy for it, and then I don't have to think about it. A little while ago I was seeing someone and he told me he liked me, like confessed to the idea of liking me, and I said thank you. He was like, Katie, I like you. I could really see this going somewhere. I said thank you. I find myself, you know, not letting myself fall in love and all that jazz because I just don't think that it's the right time in my life. But truly, is there ever a such thing as a good time? You know, good timing. I talked about this in my podcast last week. It's like, you know, is there really ever a good time for anything? It's almost like you just have to jump no matter whether you think it's a good time or a bad time. It's a feeling, it's a gut feeling you get. And even though I, you know, kind of did like this guy and I was like, you know, I could see myself with you, it's just not, I just can't. And I couldn't even like put it into words why I couldn't. When love comes knocking at the door of my life, you know, I peer hesitantly out of the peephole and I'm like, is this a good idea, letting this person in or letting this this feeling in? Because I don't know, you know, college kind of made me a little cynical when it comes to love, just because of how much brokenness I saw in my own experiences and my friends' experiences, and now, you know, post-grad, I'm like, I just don't have time for that anymore. It kind of boils down to the fact that I'm a very conflicted person. Like, I'm a very conflicting human character. You know, I'm a dreamer, but I'm also a realist. Like, I'm creative, but I'm also methodical, and I'm a woman with a plan. You know, I'm a walking, talking contradiction. And to top it all off, you know, my head and my heart are constantly throwing darts at each other. Like, I just can't decide which one to trust and which one to listen to. To make matters even worse, I talk on the internet every week and I confuse myself, you know. I'm just a mess like 99% of the time, but I'm a mess with a good Instagram feed. That theme though. Is there a logic to love? Is there a logic to it? Or is it a random event of the universe and we can't, you know, logically fathom or control it? Is it random? Is it logical? And I go back and forth on this in my mind all the time, you know, going back to the idea of the fact that I'm a crazy mess of a human. It's like some days I think, oh, there's a logic. It needs to, you know, be right. Two people that have common interests and, you know, living in the same state, you know, having the same work hours, just everything fitting like a jigsaw puzzle. But then another, you know, part of me is like, no, like it's a matter of the universe. It's something that I can't pinpoint and it's random. I know love exists. I know love is possible. I know this because of my parents' loving relationship. I know this because of, you know, people that I've seen make it work. You know, I know it's possible, but I know there's also a lot of ways that it can go sour, and I don't know if I can picture it for myself right now. It kind of scares me, guys. Like, I remember in middle school and high school, I'd go to bed at night and I would, you know, doze off thinking about the boy in my class I had a crush on and like how we would be dating and, you know, doing all this stuff together. And now I lay in bed and think about work the next day or like all the things I need to do, and I don't have the same daydreams anymore. It's kind of sad, but like someone at some point in history or at some point in some song said that love works in mysterious ways. And my response is, mysterious scares me a lot. Most of my day-to-day is not very spontaneous, you know, not very mysterious. That's why when I'm faced with like spontaneous moments of life, I don't know how to handle them. There's just always that fear element that creeps in, you know, the fear of, you know, maybe, this is gonna sound so ridiculous, but like going on dates and such, I kind of almost hope that it doesn't work out. Because then it would just complicate my whole life. Like my whole plan. You know, and certainly I see it in my future, but will I ever slow down enough for my future to, like that future me to even arrive? Or will I just keep saying, oh, in the future, until I'm 50? Like, when is a good time? There's no such thing. So that is why I need to embrace the spontaneous. And when things, come shattering into my life, I can't be afraid of it. I read this quote once. It said, you can cut down all the flowers, but you can't keep spring from coming. And I believe that, because, you can do everything in your power to prevent something from happening. And it can still happen, and it could still creep into your life no matter what you do to prevent it. Love is going to arrive. Love is going to knock at your front door. Will you let it in? Secondly, my favorite thing to do ever, will you overthink the visitor? Will you, consider all of the ways it could go wrong, or will you just let yourself, take a deep breath and just open the door? I say a lot of things on here, and I say a lot of things that I have conviction in and that I do believe, but it's always hard for me to turn around and actually do the things that I recommend to you guys. And this is one of them that I'm actually very much so going to practice and work on. I actually already have it written on a sticky note, and it's in my bathroom on my mirror. That's one of the biggest ways that I, put some thoughts into action, is writing it on a sticky note, putting it in my mirror. I hope that when love arrives, you'll stare it into the face without fear, and you'll give it a chance. And I hope that for myself too, because honestly speaking, I've messed up so many good things because I'm afraid, and I just don't see it happening right now, and something's always just maybe not perfect about it. It just doesn't make sense. The timing isn't right, the separation of where we're living and what we're doing, and I would never, I tell myself I would never move for a guy. I love New York, I'm staying here, and if he's not here, then it's not happening. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience where you stare fear in the face. I think that was right. I love that quote because I truly think you should do one thing every day that scares you, even if it's something small. Like taking a new route to work where you might get lost or something like that, or trying a new food at lunch, or I don't know. That's just like my crazy 9-to-5 little fears that I encounter. But, I think that letting yourself love, when you are a really, really pragmatic, methodical, logical person, you have to sometimes see that there isn't a logic in everything. That sometimes random events of the universe can throw something into your, onto your doorstep. And you have to face your fear and give it a chance, I think. And my parents are always telling me this, I'm always like, you have to be picky about who you spend your time with, blah, 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 and I preach all these things. But my parents have said the same thing over and over and over to me for how many years, I don't even know, like years and years and years of me dating guys. Just saying, Katie, I hope you'll give him a chance this time, because I'm ridiculous. Like, my friends and my family know that it's really hard for me to find someone that I'm happy with. I'm really picky, like I'm very picky. And that's ruined a lot of good things, or things that could be good, because I'm just like, nope, bye, I'm busy, bye, I'm busy doing this. And when am I ever not going to be busy? Like, never, unless I slow down for 5 seconds and maybe give something a chance that might not be easy. Give yourself some wiggle room for spontaneity, and also ask yourself some hard questions sometimes, because I think, if we only ask ourselves the easy questions and we don't, do some things and think some things that make us feel uncomfortable, we're just going to stay in the same place our whole lives. Is there a logic to love? And my answer is yes and no. Yes, I think that there are some logical characteristics to why you mesh with someone else, or common interests, things like that. But once you're with the right person, I think that logic kind of takes the back seat and your gut takes over. And your gut tells you what's right. People ask me all the time, like, how do you know if you're with the right person? I can't really tell you because I haven't been with the right person yet. But I truly think in my gut that your gut is your best friend. Your gut is a guardian angel in the sense of telling you, what is love and what is not. Is love a matter of destiny, or an event of the universe, event that the universe controls. Love's timing is unknown. And as much as I love to drive my life, as Oprah says, be the driver of your own life, sometimes you're going to be forced to sit shotgun. Hate to say it. And the universe takes over, and the universe decides, when you're going to meet someone, and then you take it from there. It's like you're sitting in the shotgun for a second and you're hopping back in the driver's seat, and then you get to decide what to do with that random event of the universe. I'm independent. I'm powerful, whether I think it or not sometimes. I'm fearless in many elements of my life. But, I'm trying to teach myself and learn that when scary things like love come into the picture, I'm going to stare that fear in the face and not question all the ways that it could go wrong. And I might not be ready when it comes. I'm probably not going to be ready. But I do know one thing to be true. I've taken the time to get to know myself and love myself first. And therefore, I trust myself to trust my gut. I'll open the door to that situation, that love, even though it might pain me to do so because it messes up my perfectly, curated schedule. But I'll open it slowly, but I'll open it nonetheless. And I think that is an important step. And I'm in my early 20s. Why am I acting like a crotchety grandma? I need to let myself live and not be so obsessed with being successful. It doesn't leave any wiggle room for the moments that are so spontaneous to the point where you didn't see them coming at all, but they're beautiful and they're exciting and they're, what's another word for exciting? So Warner Brothers challenged me to talk about this topic, and as you guys can see, it's really gotten me to confront a lot of my fears, a lot of things that aren't comfortable. But as I've said, being uncomfortable is what stimulates growth. Because I'm so similar to the character Natasha, I felt like it was a perfect fit to talk about. If you guys haven't seen the trailer for The Sun Is Also a Star, I'll have it linked down below so you guys can watch it for yourself and get goosebumps like I did. And I hope you guys are all having a great week. I'll talk to you guys all in my next video.